Today we have a very special video. As you know, if you watch my channel, that I like to show all the strange and rare and unique things that I've collected over the years. And I bought so many things that, well, I guess I'm still organizing them. And when I get into something, then the things from last week or last month or several months ago are someplace that I can't remember where I put them. And I'll think about them for a while and I'll be like, and I'll just forget them. This is one of those things that I've been looking for the past year, to be honest with you. I remember a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, it was the summer of 22, where I was looking at these from when I bought them, like in 2020 or 2019, and I was like, let me sell one on eBay, see if because these are different than the ones on eBay. I remember when I bought them, this person, the artist, sold the whole lot to me, and I just kept them in the bag. And then about a year and a half ago, I took one out and I said, they're a little bit different. They're not, the artist is different than most of the artists on eBay. And I was like, let me see if I could sell it. And about a year and a half ago, and it sold for, I think I sold it for $15, which is, they sell for about $10 on eBay each. These are called Hobo Nickles. Maybe you've heard of them. If you've seen one, you never forget what it is. And I don't know. There's a lot of information on Hobo Nickles, but my understanding is that it's something that homeless people were doing, like in the Great Depression, to make whatever, a penny, to eat, or because they had so much time on their hands, they were unemployed, and they would carve pictures on nickels. Well, that practice never stopped, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of carved coins on eBay. And I always looked at them. I mean, I always known about them, since I've been dealing with coins and eBay and all of that. But I never owned any. And what happened was, like I said, about a few years ago, this artist was selling all of their whole collection. So I bought it. And they're all very similar, but they do have little differences. So I'm turning them over to the head side. Okay. And then I also bought, which I thought I had more, but I guess not. Oh, there's someplace else in another box somewhere. I bought the nickel holders, which I remember, like I said, when I sold one about a year and a half ago, and I can't remember where I put my stuff, but for some reason I have, well, all right, not to make this into a science channel or anything, but they say that this is the way the brain works, that whatever you think is important, you will allocate that power towards what you see as important. So I guess where I put stuff I don't see as important, but how much I sold something for, and when I sold it, I guess for some reason that's in like an important piece of information. I can remember that stuff. I remember what I sold things for years and years and years ago. Okay, I'm taking a little divergent here because I have a thought in my head, and this is how I function. I can remember when I had a very, very large Shaquille O'Neal card collection, and I'm talking about in 2010. Me and my wife had just moved, and we got set up, and I remember thinking, oh, Shaquille's gonna retire in a few years. I'm gonna buy some of his cards, and I went from some of his cards to about 200,000 of his cards. No lie, they were stacked about 5 feet tall in the card boxes, the big square 5-row card boxes that hold about 3 or 4 or 5,000 a piece, more than that, maybe 6,000 cards a piece, and then 10 high. So okay, maybe not 200,000, maybe like 100,000 of them. So I remember this one card that I bought was there's a group of cards called Credentials, Essential Credentials. They first came out, I believe, in the early 2000s, and then they kept on making new versions of it every year or 2 or 3 or 4. Anyway, in 2006, 2005, 2006, they made this another version, and the bronze one was numbered to 60. So I was watching an auction, and I picked up that bronze Shaquille O'Neal Essential Credentials for $5. Maybe with shipping was $10, something like that. Okay, I remember selling that Shaquille O'Neal card about 6 months later because I needed money, or I saw the prices went up, or that I got it really cheap. I sold it 6 months later for $60. And I remember jumping up and down, clicking my heels. Oh my God. And again, we're talking about 14 years ago. And I was like, oh my God, I made $50. Oh my God. I was so happy about making this $50, okay? And I felt smart. First of all, that if you think that whatever you think about that story, that card today is over $2,000. So I wasn't that smart. If I would have held on to that card, I would have made $2,000 on that $10. But I made $50 and I was happy about it. But I could remember that. That's my point. But I couldn't remember where I put these damn nickels for the past year. So that was a segue into how my brain works. And here we are. So yesterday, I'm going through. I have to get organized every day for what I want to show the next day. So I have all these little boxes full of things from yesteryear, and on the bottom of the box were all kinds of coins, right? So if you saw my video yesterday, I did a video yesterday on what's the video I did yesterday on? It's here somewhere. I did a video on the roll of pennies. That was one of the groups of coins. So I found the roll of pennies. I found these little pewter figures. I found this bag of what are those? Indian head pennies. I found a roll of, what's that, V-Nickles? A roll of V-Nickles, is that it? Oh, V-Nickles. I found another roll of I think these are silver quarters. Yeah. I found a roll of silver quarters. I found these miniature pennies. I found some. Anyway, I found all kinds of stuff that are heavy that fell down to the bottom of the box, right? So that's why I haven't seen it in so long, because it was on the bottom of the box. And one of the things that was on the bottom of the box was my Hobo nickels, which I've been looking for like a year. So here they are. Here are my Hobo nickels. And these, I know where these were because I keep all my cases and stuff together. And I was like, and that's what made me kept thinking about the Hobo nickels, was because I bought these cases, which I know I have more somewhere. I know I bought enough cases for these nickels, and all I found was this one bag of like 7 or 8. And I was like, where are the hobo nickels? I keep seeing the cases there for the past like year and a half, just sitting there. And I'm like, where are the hobo nickels for the case? Anyway, long story long. Here are the hobo nickels that I found. And so a year and a half ago, I sold one for $15, which, you know, that was pretty good. That was like almost like market value. Someone really liked this nickel because they paid about $5 more than any of the other nickels, hobo nickels, that were $5 less. So I'm going to show you the nickels in a minute. I'll show you one. Okay, let me see if I could. This one is. So these are obvious. I don't want to say obviously, but these are buffalo nickels, right? I know you know what a buffalo nickel is. I had a really, really, really great video. So these are all buffalo nickels, right? That's the face on one side, and then the back is the buffalo. So what you notice as soon as I flip this over is what? It's signed. So most of the signatures, like if you go on eBay and you put in signed buffalo nickels, you will find, I'm gonna zoom in a bit. You will find initialed hand-carved hobo nickels. You will find them initialed. This one has the person's full name, signature, whatever you want. I don't know. And what does this say? That looks B-U-P. See, I was thinking princess. It looks like when I look at it real quick, it looks like princess. But it looks like B-U-P-R-I-N-C-E-S-S. Bups. Rinses. It has to be princess, right? I don't know. I don't know what it says. If I got any, loyal followers out there, anybody who's into this kind of stuff, try to decipher, and if you find out who this person is, put it in the comments. That would be pretty cool. If not, I'll probably end up looking this person up at some point. At the end, you can see there's 2 S's, and I'm going to show you the back of some more, so you could see if you need any. Maybe one of the other ones are much more clearer. So this person, this artist, I guess he's gonna be also known as Princess until we figure out what that says, because to me it looks like it says Princess, at least at the end. Formerly known as Princess. This is the type of stuff Princess did. It's kind of simple and not as extravagant as some of the other carved coins on eBay. Some of them, man, I mean, these people are putting like murals on these coins. It's ridiculous. They're absolutely beautiful. But I'm thinking the reason why these here, which we're going to go over in a minute, are so popular, are more popular than even some of those, is because this is more close to the original, consistent with a traditional hobo nickel. Like, this is probably very close to what they were doing in the 1930s and in the Great Depression. A little bit more primitive, a little bit more simplistic, though well done. You know, like this person, um, those lines are, I mean, he's not, Princess is not going outside of the areas. Like there's no mistakes on it. I mean, I'm not sure if you know, if you noticed that, but I also went to art school for a few years. Not that you know necessarily got me anywhere, but I did learn the fundamentals of fine arts. I went to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn for 3 years. I probably should have stood there and finished off my undergraduate, but I had other ideas and I went to do other things. But I do have a little bit of an eye for art, and I have a little bit of an art collection, which I don't know, maybe next year I'll get to it. At some point, it's a pretty nice size pile, and it's everything from what are those? The sketches from the comic books, the original art from comic books, to fantasy original oil painting fantasy art, to a 200-year-old fine art paintings. So I have a bunch of art that I'll get to one of these days. I'm absolutely enthralled by art, and I guess when I look at this, I mean I don't see necessarily fine art, but I can see the beauty in this person's artistic ability. In this coin right here, there's no mistakes. I'm pretty sure if I tried to do this, it would look like crap because I would have messed it up. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that you can't fix an error in art, but you know, this is a metal carving, and all these lines that you see in front of you are pretty fine, meaning that the person made a line, and then you can see, if you really look, you can see when mistakes are covered up, or you know, mended or transformed into some other image. All right, so that's one. Let's do this. I know, and I guess you're like, yo, this guy could really talk, man. Yeah, well, that's what I do. BPP. Well, you're still formerly known as Princess. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, and you can see some of that's 26. I mean, I wonder if some of these nickels are actually like valuable nickels. Most buffalo nickels are not. Yeah, this 25, and it's and the other thing is with hobo nickels is there's something, I guess people have a thing for if the date is showing or not. So we could check that out too. This one says 1925. Look how, I mean, yeah, this is nice. This is really, I'm really on the verge of calling this like almost like a type of no, it wouldn't be fine art. Okay, this would be considered primitive art, which is interesting because if memory serves me, primitive art is a genre of art that came out, I'm gonna say the late 1800s, maybe early 1900s, and it was basically like people on farms without any. So primitive art is basically untrained artists who, without any formal training, and you could really tell in their artwork. You know, The perspective is two-dimensional usually, or like very childlike. So, and the interesting thing is that some artists, you might say, oh, this person does primitive art and they have 50 years of art education. Yeah, that's the other way you could do primitive art. You have to like train yourself how to draw like a child. So when I was in college, there were people who did type primitive art, and that was their style, and they learned how to through training, they learned how to improve on that style, and the professors the teachers instructors would show them how to improve their art style through the other master artists, primitive artists from the past. So this, in my opinion, is very primitive art-like. Oh, look at that. Okay, so it's B-O. B-O-P-R. Bop. I mean, that looks like a B-O to me. B-O-P. Bop. Bopri. Oh my God. You're going to have to like look at the different backs and take whatever letter is, so that looks like a B-O-P. And then you have to, whatever looks good on the backs, you'll have to. So we got B-O-P-R, Bopra, whatever that means. Any date on that one? No. I could nick a date them, but I'm not going to do that. They're 1920. And each one is different. I mean, I'm sure you noticed that. B-O-P-R-I-N-C. Boprin says. Boprin. Whatever's between the C and the last two S's. I thought it was an E, right? Because C-E-S-S just seems most logical. So, I'm thinking that the reason why this person's Nickles, it sold pretty quick. I remember it sold within like a couple weeks. And I was like, oh. And I always like, oh, I'm going to go put those other Nickles on. And I didn't even, a year and a half, 1 year later, I'm over here showing the Nickles. I didn't even list them. I wonder what that is. It's an E, right? It's an E. E-S-S? I don't know. And maybe the person's not even, maybe you can't even Google them, you know? And you can see, but you can see the little, where they start, right? Where they push down with their Dremel. I'm assuming it's a Dremel. But very nice. Like you don't see, I mean, this person knows how to carve on Nickles. So, and, look at this one. See, he left the face. Maybe he saw that the face was really detailed and decided to do something a little different with it. Like to make it into, like a Civil War hat. But I guess the fact that all of these have the person's full. Oh, look, you see, some of them have just more stuff on it. Oh, he's got a little, what's that, cigarette? Smoking something. Oh, you can see the little smoke plume coming out of the cigarette. Any date on it? Yeah, you can see it, 25. So, it's got Liberty there. 25. Yeah, you can see the date on most of these. A lot of them also on eBay you don't see the date on. And these coins, they look super shiny for some reason. I'm not saying that they're cleaned. I think it's the reflection off of the off of the carving. It's really and I don't know if video's capturing, but in person they're super duper shiny. And we're getting down to the end of them here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoy making them. All these things that I show are things that I've collected, because when I saw them, they had meaning to me. Like they spoke to me. Like, oh wow, that's super interesting. And you can see I've kept them for a long time. I mean, for me, it's a long time. Usually resellers get stuff and they just resell them. Like, to me, I was like, these are nice. I want to know that's how people lose money on eBay, is they don't know what they're selling and somebody else does. Like, not for nothing, I don't know who this person is. How about if this is a super famous person? I'm over here selling these nickels for $15, and this is like some Andy Warhol type of deal. I know it's not. Okay, I'm exaggerating for the video. I know it's not an Andy Warhol. Well, I mean, I don't know. The truth of the matter is, I really don't know. But it's highly unlikely. But how about somebody that just is known for doing these nickels, and I can't find this person because people bought them, because it's like, oh, as soon as it goes up, people snatch them out. You know what I mean? And here I am selling for $15, but they're worth $50. Well, that's a lot of money to be losing in this example. To be losing $35 a nickel, you're talking about hundreds of dollars. Okay. So, point being, I'm not going to list something until I really understand what it is. And giving the item's value the respect it deserves. I'm not going to treat this like junk. This isn't junk. If I grabbed a buffalo nickel and I started carving on it, it would be junk. This person is an artist. Burp, 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 princess. The burping princess. So, like I was saying before I interrupted myself, I really enjoyed doing these videos. I'm a little long-winded, and that's my nature. If you watch my other videos, I've mentioned that I was a social worker for 20 years, and I guess that training, that profession, what do they call that? Professional, occupational hazard. Occupational hazard. Oh, he's got it. Look at a Hebrew. Am I correct, or is that a monk? I can't tell. I can't tell if that's a bald head or if that's a yarmulke. Wow. That's cool. Look, this is called hatching. Hatching is the lines when they go in the same direction to give a plane a shape. It's called hatching. And then when lines go over each other to give 3 dimensions, it's called cross hatching. So here we got hatching, and the hatching meet to give to give the look of a hairline and direction of the hair. This person's an artist. This person's an artist. 1926, I believe. 26 or 28. I'm a little long-winded, but that's who I am, and I'm, you know, hopefully that's what gives the channel or my content it's a little bit of unique character. I'm used to talking to people, and now I talk. I talk to you. All right, this is the last one. 1927. And I like doing it. That's the bottom line. And looks like a lot of people like watching the channel and hearing me talk, and I'm grateful for that. Truly. It's nice to know that I could do something that I like, and it's also liked by somebody else. Okay, so thanks a lot. If you've been here for over 31 minutes, I'm gonna assume you subscribed, and I'll see you on the next one. I think I showed some of those other coins that I found there. What I do is I have, just to make this a little bit longer of a video, I have my little box over here of things for upcoming videos, and like those coins that I showed are in there. Oh, you know what? I'm glad I stood here. So I will do, I have a bunch of other things to do, and I'm prepared for like probably months and months and months of content. So these are the coin cases. They might have a specific name. There is a nail, like to open it, and if I remember correctly, okay, so it doesn't go, it goes in this one first because that's the smaller one. See, it fits in there perfectly, and then you put the case over it, and that protects it. And this is how I'm gonna order some more for the rest of them, because it's just more professional and presents much nicer. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, just wanted to show you that I had it there, and if you want to see how it looked, and I never used a coin case before. Like I said, I bought these a couple years ago, and then I sold one in that coin case, and that's the last time I used a nickel coin case. All right, thank you. I'll see you in the next one, and